Hey everyone, it's Andy with this week's Tips for Work and Life. We're going to talk about changing careers today. Career change success, the first 7 steps that I would take if I was going to make a career change. Now, for all of you out there who are watching this, I want to offer some words of encouragement. I know you can do this. I've done it 3 times, and if I could do it 3 times, you can do it. And the greatest news is you have the ability, and it's never, ever in the history of the world been easier to make a career change with all the resources that we have in this world to help educate you and get you going in the right direction. The problem is most people don't have a plan, which I'm going to give you today, the first 7 steps to that plan. But before we do that, I want to just give you a moment of perspective. And I want you to tuck this away in the back of your mind as you watch this video, or any of my videos for that matter. If I wasn't brave enough 13 or so years ago to make a career change, and again 2 years ago to make another change, you'd never be benefiting from this video or any video I've ever created or any training course or anything I've ever done to help facilitate your career and your life. So I want you to think about, as you're hesitating to make that change, all the people in this world that would benefit from you doing so. So whether you are an old pro like me, just wanting to make a drastic career change, or whether you're a college student just looking for that first job, or anybody who wants a job where they don't feel like they have the requisite experience, this video's for you. So I'm going to give you the first 7 steps that I would take. Let's roll. Number 1, you got to make sure that you want it. It sounds silly, but there's a huge difference between a passing fancy and a burning desire. So most people fail not because their ability, but because they don't have a good plan in place, and they haven't really thought it through about whether or not that career or that change is going to align to the things that make them happy. So the first step that I would take is I would list out all of my requirements of the things that I would need in place to be happy. Everything down to the lowest level. Make a list. It sounds simple, but very few people do it. So number 1, make a list. And if you are really ambitious and you really want to learn how to do that effectively, I have a 3-part video series that you can watch. It's called 5 Steps to Career Success. It's the first 5 steps that I would take in order to make sure that my list was in order, my why was in order, and I was directed. So I'll put that in the description. You can watch that later, but that's number 1. Number 2, the step everybody forgets. Virtually everybody forgets this. This might even be step number 1 or 0. What are you willing to sacrifice? You have the ability to achieve your goals. You have the ability to make this career change or get that job or whatever it might be. The reason a lot of people fail is not only because they don't have a plan, but they're unwilling to give up certain things in their life to put in the extra effort to compensate for the areas they're deficient in or how they need to catch up, whatever it might be. So think nights, think weekends, maybe compensation. You might have to take a little pay cut if you want to make a change. What are the things that you're willing to give up, and what are the things that you're not willing to give up? And get clear on that and be committed to sacrificing those things that are going to prevent you from being successful in making this change. That's number 2. Number 3, you have to discover the capabilities that are important for success for that particular position. So what do I mean by capabilities? So think about, an example I use a lot is for salespeople. When a salesperson is about to sell a product, a thing, a service, or whatever, knowing exactly how to sell that particular product, that's a trade skill. That's something that you learn with experience selling that particular product. That's something that can usually be easily taught. But great salespeople that can transcend whatever product they're selling, whatever service they're selling, they have foundational abilities like good leadership skills, good organizational skills, good communication skills. They're good listeners. They know how to connect the dots for their customers or prospects to show them how their products and services will benefit them. They're good at psychology. Those are foundational abilities that can be developed that make a great salesperson a great salesperson. If you want to be a chef, then you need to figure out what the great capabilities are that make awesome chefs. There's 2 ways to do that. Well, there's many ways to do that, but there's 2 easy ways. You could literally Google what qualities make a great chef. and a whole bunch of blog posts will come up and a whole bunch of books will come up. Go ahead and do that. Read them, learn, see if those are things and qualities you think you already have. The other thing is you can do a little research with individuals who are currently doing that role or have done that role. So there's lots of ways, but you want to get these capabilities. It's really important to get these capabilities, and we're going to use these at a later step in the process. That is a really, really big deal that you understand what those qualities are. And speaking of people, step number 4 is you got to do a little reconnaissance. Talk to people who are currently doing that job. And I want to stress here for a second, those people that are actually currently doing that profession. And why do I make such a big deal about that? It's okay to talk to somebody who was a chef or who was a salesperson. But human nature is we tend to forget what it was like, what some of the struggles were, what it was like not to know what we know. And the other thing is their techniques or their interaction with the world might be a little outdated. You want to talk to people who are currently going through it. It's fresh in their mind. They know what they're dealing with. It's front, it's center. They can share it with you. You can start making a bigger list of things that you're going to have to evaluate and consider to know whether you're going to want to make that change. Very, very big deal. It might sound exciting when you're thinking about making that change, but if you don't have some realistic, real-time data, you're not going to be successful. Number 5, still on the theme of people, it's never been easier to get help out in the world and get educated on a career that you want. I call this one, number 5, building a Franken mentor. So, using myself as an example, when I became a trainer a few years ago, I didn't know how to work a camera. I didn't really have a great platform. I didn't know what it was like to build a membership site or a training course or a number of other things that I had to learn. I have 7 different people that it takes to help me shoot this video. So I had to learn from many different people who were fantastic experts at what it was that they do that contributed to my ability to deliver this to you. So Google them, find the books, find the blogs, follow people, figure out and align those capabilities with individuals who speak on that, write on that, talk on those capabilities, and start to learn. And over time, you'll find that some of those experts are a little bit more effective at giving advice than others. Continue to follow them. But that's a way where you can start educating yourself. Very big deal. You can catch up on your free time outside of your current work hours. Follow your Franken mentor. Number 6, you've got to anticipate the struggle and plan for it. It's amazing. People want to envision success. You hear a lot of people talk about, well, just imagine yourself successful. That's bunk. You can't just imagine yourself into success. The better way to imagine yourself towards success is envision the struggles you are about to encounter, anticipate them by talking to the people, researching the change you want to make, and then put a plan together as to how you're going to overcome them and envision yourself through the struggle. How are you going to react when you encounter that obstacle? If you are more prepared for that encounter when you hit it because you've envisioned yourself hitting it and you knew you were going to hit it, you're going to be more successful in getting through that. If you just envision yourself on the beach having your cocktails, it isn't going to work. Now, you probably have a dozen problems that you have to overcome. All of us do. There's a bunch we can think of. There's some that will be unanticipated. But everybody has 3 problems. You have a learning problem, you have a marketing problem, and you have a job interviewing problem if your change is going to be to stay in the corporate world or go into a different profession where you're going to have to interview for it. Learning, marketing, and interviewing. The learning part, so step number 7, you got to execute your plan against this. The learning part is something that I've already spoken about. Build your Franken mentor, get the books, follow the blogs, do the research, do your reconnaissance, talk to the people, start getting educated, start becoming more and more familiar. That one is pretty straightforward. It just takes a little elbow grease. The marketing aspect, so people always want to know, oh no, what do I put on my resume because I don't have the requisite experience? Well, If you did step number 3 correctly, where you identified those capabilities, and remember that example that I used about the salesperson, psychology skills, leadership skills, organization skills, influential skills, communication skills, and so on. Those foundational traits, the greatest employers in the world, they know that that's what they need to be evaluating when they're going to hire a salesperson. So what you need to do is take whatever experience that you have. If you're a college student, we're talking internships, part-time jobs, school projects, school classes, whatever you have at your disposal. If you're a professional, take whatever experience you have in your life, make the list of capabilities, and then go through your work history and start identifying the projects, the efforts, the work that you did that helped you build skills that align to those capabilities. And we want to put those in your career profile, in your highlights, in the bullets, in your professional experience, on your resume. And if you really want to see how to lay that resume out, I have a video called Build Your Ultimate Professional Resume. It's got a resume template. It's extremely popular. I've got that in the description. You can grab that as well. But that is the way to market yourself. You can put it on the resume. You can put it in the cover letter. And you can put it on your LinkedIn profile. And you can talk about it in the responses that you give to questions in the job interview. Focus on the capabilities. That is your key. Because when you don't have the requisite work experience, you've got to focus on the capabilities. So, let's run over the 7 again. Number 1, make your list. You got to make sure that you want it. Number 2, make sure you think about the sacrifices you're going to make. Number 3, make your list of capabilities. Number 4, do the reconnaissance and talk to people. Number 5, build your Franken mentor. Number 6, anticipate the struggles, list out the struggles you're going to have, and put a plan together. And step number 7, execute the plan, primarily going against your learning deficit. So you want to collapse that, your marketing and your interviewing issues. You want to focus on the capabilities, grab the experience you have. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you liked this video, give me a like, a comment, and a share. If you're watching it anywhere other than my YouTube channel or the Tips for Work and Life blog, hop over to the blog. I've got loads of information on how to go deeper in each one of these steps. And until next week, have a great one.